I think the war in Ukraine has made the U.S. all the more eager to work with Europe to build a lasting security structure in Europe in the wake of this war. However it ends, we will be in a new world, and I think the United States feels more clearly than it has in a long time that the U.S. and Europe are in it together. It's a bigger war effort or struggle for security than simply Russia. It's a global struggle, and the U.S. and Europe have to stick together, both in the specific area of European security. How do we coordinate within NATO, outside of NATO, but also how do we work more generally in the broader global security challenges? And in both the regional challenges of Europe and the global challenges, there's no substitute for very close U.S.-European relations. I did not support NATO expansion all those years ago, but I don't think it was a grand mistake. I certainly don't think it was the cause of this war, although Putin has certainly made it one of the reasons why he's doing what he's doing. The mistake for me was really a different mistake. It was not keeping the U.S. and Western security partnership with Russia going. So there was always NATO expansion, but there was also a partnership agreement with Russia. Arms control, even back to Reagan and Gorbachev, it had to do with UN reform. It had to do with a kind of global cooperation on security, the environment, a kind of progressive agenda where Russia and the United States, Russia and the West would work together. So there was a failure to keep that part of the overall architecture of the post-Cold War world together. So when that fell apart, and when Russia dropped economically to the bottom, and when it reverted to its old authoritarian ways, the NATO expansion did become a grievance. So we lost the opportunity to have in place this larger architecture that certainly Gorbachev wanted all those years ago, and that if we had had that partnership agreement, Russia would be inside of a global security structure with us, and it would make the NATO expansion component of that less provocative to them. I think the United States is more and more comfortable with that idea. It's not a substitute for NATO, and it's not a strategic shift that would break apart the transatlantic system, which is more than just NATO. The transatlantic system is a multi-dimensional partnership that goes in all sorts of different directions. That is the fundamental reality that we want to protect. The European component within this larger system certainly needs to expand, and one outgrowth of the Ukraine war may well be that Europe will have more motivation to, as certainly it's signaled with, for example, the new German Chancellor, a commitment to raise more funds for security and to reimagine what security cooperation may mean centered in Europe. So I think the answer is yes. I think within this larger system, there's a very strong desire for Europe to have a kind of a gravity, a kind of weight as a security actor in Europe and on the global stage.